Hey yarn friends, welcome back to LlamaMamaKayla's Yarn Tube. Except today I'm not talking about yarn. I had mentioned in a previous video about my notebooks for 2020. And so today I was going to show you some notebooks that I'm using. And before I show you those, I want to show you kind of where my notebook journey started. We were a homeschool family, and so I needed to keep up with what we were doing for homeschool. So this was one of Elijah's notebooks that he had for school, and that's where we kept up with what he was doing, what he had going on that day, subjects and stuff. And so that was a planned week off of school because we were celebrating the Feast of Tabernacles. So and that was a week we were sick. And so you can see that I just kind of planned out our year and wrote in, what we were doing for school that week. And so I've always done this. Remember, I was a homeschool mom for 23 years, so notebooking was part of my life. Not only did I keep up with our schedule, such as my kids' subjects and what they needed to do for school that week, they also notebooked for different subjects, such as, let me see if I can see something here. For like American history, Elijah kept a notebook for that, like a 3-ring binder where he would add stuff in, and he would watch a DVD and then write about it and add whatever, went with it or such. And so we notebooked for a lot of our subjects for school. And, oh, Phoebe. Nope, this one's not about you. No, it's not. Come on. Sorry about that. Y'all know Phoebe, thinks the videos are about her. So anyway, as you can see, this is, kind of where my notebooking started, because I needed to keep up with what we were doing for school, what we were doing for each subject, and just to keep us on track for school. And so I had this notebook for Elijah. Dakota had one. Each year they get a new one, and we would just, fill it up as we went. So let me put Phoebe down. So that was one of Elijah's notebooks. And then I had a notebook where I needed to keep up with what was going on in my life, what I had going on. And so this is kind of just where I would kind of keep up with what was going on. Whatever I had, going on that day, what I needed to do. And this was kind of my daily bullet journal, I guess you could say. So, I doodled and just kind of jotted down things that I needed to get done. And this is not current. This is when we were homeschooling. Because you can see I needed to get school done every day. So this is where my love for notebooks started. Okay, and so I was getting my notebooks out to make this video, and Dakota asked what I was doing. I told him I was just going to show my 2020 notebooks, and I kind of briefly just showed him what they were and showed him each notebook, and he said, yeah, I can do all that on 2 apps. There, I know you can, but you know what? I like pen and paper. I like to doodle. I like to write it down. Writing it down just does something for me. Typing it on my phone really does nothing for me. If I write it, I'm more likely to remember it. And I'm old school. I like pen and paper, okay? So, that's what I like. Okay, so you can see, you know, I just had lots of things going on that I needed to keep up with. Some weeks not so much, but then some weeks a lot. So anyway, that's where my notebooking life came from. Also, I had a prayer journal or a thankful gratitude book that I called my war book. And it's a composition notebook that I had covered with some cardstock. And this is almost full. But anyway, I don't want to show all my prayers and thoughts. But, it's where I wrote out some prayers and different things like that. I kind of doodled and just wrote out things. And you can see this is before I lost that finger right there. And so, things like this, just to have to look back, is very meaningful to me. Like, if I hadn't got this notebook and thumbed through it, I wouldn't have saw this page, and I wouldn't have remembered this day that I wrote that. I wouldn't remember that I traced my hands before I lost that finger. You can't remember that stuff with an out. I mean, you lose so much with an out to me. So anyway, I just decorate with stickers and doodles and, stamps. It's not that big a deal. It's just things I want to get out that's in my heart and that I want to get out on paper. So that is my prayer journal. Okay, so my notebook journal for 2020. This is my main calendar book. This is where I will keep up with everything that's going on in my house. If you live in my house, I don't really have to keep up with your appointments and such, but we need to coordinate. And that's why I need to know what's going on and be able to keep up with everybody's everything. So, this will start January 2020, as you can see. And so, I'll just start filling in, like, things that's going on. And also, I'll have days where I might pick, Monday, I deal with paperwork from on my desk or mail or insurance. I have to make a lot of phone calls to insurance for some reason, trying to get them to, pay their part on bills. And that usually takes up like a whole day on the phone. So I'll probably just pick one day a week. It will be, paperwork stuff. Thursdays, every other Thursday will be my grocery day and shopping day. Different things like that. And then there will be doctor's appointments, days that, appointments where we have to go pick up our prescriptions, because this new place that my doctor set us up at to get my prescriptions is very weird and rigid, and you have to have an appointment to come and get your prescriptions. And the reason why I'm using it is because I take Viagra for my hands, and insurance does not want to pay for Viagra for my hands. I mean, they'll pay for it for men every day, but they won't pay for it for my hands. Viagra is a vasodilator, and so it opens up blood vessels, and it should help my hands. But anyway, like I said, insurance don't want to pay for it, and it's super expensive just to buy it without insurance, like $1,000 a month. And so my doctor found a place where I could get it a little bit cheaper. And so I went there to get that prescription for them. He called them and talked with them and told them the situation. And they said they could get it for me for a few months. So I went there and done it. And then they were like, we'll fill all your prescriptions and give you a little bit of a discount on them. And so I was like, well, that sounds really good. So I gave them all my prescriptions, but I did not realize it was such a hassle to pick up your prescriptions. You have to have an appointment, and sometimes they're booked, Like if you're like run out of prescriptions here on the 23rd and you call and ask to get your prescriptions refilled, you cannot pick those prescriptions up until the 30th. And that's only if they have space for you on the 30th. They're only open 2 days a week, Tuesday and Thursday. You may have to wait until this Tuesday or this Thursday to pick up your prescriptions. So while I'm getting a little bit of a discount on my prescriptions, it is a hassle. And I'm trying to call them to say, okay, I'm almost out of such and such medication. I need to get my prescription refilled. And anyway, it's a hassle, so I need to keep up with that in here. That got off topic there, but anyway, so that is a hassle. And just I have a lot of things like that seem to be a hassle for me that I need to keep up with in my notebooks. My calendar here. And so I'll write down Dakota's schedule. I'll write down Elijah's schedule, and Jody's schedule is now fixed Monday through Friday. So that's good. And but I'll need to keep up with their schedules and what they're working, just because if we plan something for the family, we don't want to plan to go out and eat on the night of the 8th if, Dakota's working nights. We would want to pick a day where he's working days and he can go out to eat with us. So anyway, just things like that. And plus, if we're coordinating vehicles or anything like that, I just need to know people's schedules. And my doctor's appointments are out of town, and sometimes I usually have one a month that is in Shreveport, which is 2.5 hours away. And I think I have that on the 23rd here. So I need to know who's going with me. Or I need to have that wrote down so I can say up here somewhere, I can say, hey, y'all, I have an appointment in Shreveport on the 23rd. Who's going to go with me? And then they can decide who can get off work to go with me and write that down. I can write it down and write them a sticky note to put somewhere, or they can put it in their phone or something that they need to ask for that day off to be one of their off days or something. Anyway, this is my main notebook where I'll keep up with life. And then back here, it's got where you can come. Like if I said I have a doctor's appointment with such and such doctor, and it's like a specialist and I'm not familiar with him, I can come back here and write the location where that is and what I need to take and things like that. Just, extra information that's needed to know about this. If I want to write that such and such bill is due, I can come back here and write where that is, how much needs to be paid, and things like that. So anyway, that is my main 2020 calendar book where I would keep up with things such as that. And then you did see this little notebook that I got in one of my AdNet baggies. And it just has a bunch of little, very cute little things in it. And I think I'm just going to throw this in my main project bag that I take with me, and a couple ink pens. And when I'm somewhere and, finish a project or get tired of working on a project, I might just get this little notebook out and doodle in it, fill in the little pages, write whatever I need to write. Just make it a little notebook like that. So it's just a cute little notebook that I really did like. So I'm just going to put that in my project bag. Okay. This is going to be my bullet journal for 2020. I usually have one for every year, and I may not write in it every day. It's just a lined notebook. I may not write in it every day, but I write in it when I have stuff that I've got to get done. And that's the purpose of it. If I don't have anything that I don't need to get done, then there's nothing to write. So I would just write, like here, I would just write January the 1st, a list of things that I need to get done that day, whatever I wanted to know about that day, or just any kind of doodles, or just whatever. There's no rules about it. It's just a notebook where I just write so that I don't forget things. So I'm calling this my bullet journal. Okay, and this notebook right here that says Blessed, it has a snap on it, and I'm going to make this my prayer journal, gratitude journal, where I can just write down all the things that I want to get out of my heart. I want to, definitely write down things I'm thankful for, so that, I don't forget those. And I can look back in this and say, oh yeah, that was a sweet memory. I really do appreciate so-and-so for doing that, or, things like that. So this will be my prayer journal for sure. Okay, this notebook is just a 3-subject notebook that I picked up at Walmart. And this will be my cleaning notebook. We have let things go, and we need to get the house back under control. I've had a cleaning notebook in the past, and I stayed on top of it, and my house looked company ready at all times. And not that I couldn't have company right now, it's just there's a lot of things that need to be done that's not done. And my bedroom is the worst. I need to organize a lot of things in there. So, and things seem to get dumped to my bedroom. So anyway, we need to write down our zones, what day we're working on certain zones, and get that going. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll have a cleaning notebook or have a schedule of cleaning, like this is what needs to be cleaned this week or this day, depending how detailed I break it down, which I'm probably going to break it down pretty detailed at first, and then I may get more laxed as the months go on. But a lot of times what I'll do is I'll write down what needs to be done, and then I'll take an index card and write Dakota and Elijah on 2 different index cards. And I'll write little special jobs that I need them to do, like such as if I need somebody to go around with a cleaning cloth and wipe the top of baseboards, I'll write that probably on Elijah's. If I need someone to go clean the tub and shower, excuse me, I would write that like on Dakota's. Anything I need done outside, I would write on Dakota's. I mean on Elijah's, because he's our outside boy. But anyway, so this notebook I'll just keep up with all the things that need cleaning. I'll probably go through and write down our zones. I'll probably go through each room and break down what needs to be done for that room to be called clean. And then for that week that we're on whatever zone 1, we will know what needs to be done and break that down. So anyway, as I start writing in my notebooks, if y'all would like, I could show that one more detailed as the time goes on. I didn't say where I got my other notebook, so I'm going to recap that 1 second. This came from Walmart. It's just a 3-subject notebook. This, I got it Tuesday morning. I think it was about $5 or $6. This came from Michael's, and it's just a lined book, and it was like $4.99. This came from Books A Million, and it was, I think, $17.99. Okay, so carrying on. Here is my YouTube notebook. So I will use this notebook to schedule videos, and if I've recorded videos and they've been uploaded and edited and scheduled, I can, put that in. So this is starting in 2020, and I'll just kind of keep up with, what videos I'm doing and things like that. And then I have it broke down to different sections where recorded videos but need to be scheduled, recorded videos that need to be edited, and I do have a ton of those videos that need to be edited. I just hadn't went through my files and wrote them down. Project ideas, video ideas, WIPs that I'm currently working on, finished projects that I need to share with you guys, tutorials to be filmed, patterns to write, reviews that I want to film, and vlogs to film. So I have some new things planned for 2020, and this notebook is going to keep me on track. And I may get the Cricut machine out, get Dakota to cut me out something that says LlamaMamaKayla's yarn tube here on the front, something like that. Alright, and then I have this little notebook here that is just going to be my brain dump. Some days and it's just a line notebook that came from Michael's. It was like their $4.99 books. And some days I just need to open a book and just write down what's in my mind, what's on my brain, my thoughts, and just get it out on paper so I can stop thinking about it. And that way I don't forget about things, but I'm not having to think about them. So I'll just use this as like a brain dump notebook where I just write down things that I don't want to forget, but necessarily I don't need to just keep thinking about constantly or whatever. Okay, and then this notebook is my business notebook for my crafts, my creations, whatever I have going on. I'm going to keep up with any art fairs, craft fairs that I do, things I sold. And I do sell a lot of things on the internet. And I did have some things on Etsy, but I recently took them down. Dakota's saying I need to put things back on Etsy. But at the time I took things down, I was really sick and just wasn't able to fulfill orders. And so I refunded an order because I just was too sick to deal with it. And then I just took everything down. So I'm thinking about doing that again. I'm not gung-ho to jumping on that just yet. But anyway, I do sell things. Like when I post things on Facebook, I do get some orders here and there. We have a community page where we live, and I'll post some things on there, like if it's around a holiday, and people might say, oh, I want, one of those or two of those, or can you make this, and such and such. So I need a notebook to keep up with those kind of things. Also, I need to keep up with my expenses and my profits, or what I bring in and what I spend. And that'll come into more play in my budget notebook, but I do want to keep this information separate so I'll know what has sold, because I'm not going to keep that detailed of what I've made and what I've sold in my regular budget notebook. So this is my business notebook. Okay, and then I have my budget notebook. I haven't started this yet for 2020. So basically it's just going to be a 2-page spread for January where I keep up with our income, our bills, what we spent money on, so we can keep track of, where our money's going, what frivolous things can we cut out, and such things like that. So this will be my budget notebook. And it's just a small little notebook that I got at Dollar General. And I didn't say where I got this notebook. This was just a Walmart spiral bound one subject notebook for maybe like $1, $2, I don't know. And then this came from Dollar General. It was actually a 2-pack, and I think it was either $1 or $2. And let's see. Oh, this notebook is going to go in my purse because a lot of times when I'm out, people will tell me something that I'm going to forget as soon as I walk away from them. So if someone tells me something that I need to remember, I'm going to write it in my notebook. I have some stickers there to go with this. But anyway, so this is going in my purse, and I'll just need to write down things. Or even if leaving the doctor's office and he tells me you need to get this over the counter med, or try this, or and your next appointment is, I can write it down in here and then put it in my other notebook later. So, and this little notebook came from Dollar Tree, and it was just $1. Okay, and now next I have this little notebook that Jackie sent me, and this I keep addresses in. I'm not going to open it up, or I can open the back because it is just lined paper. But in the front, I started keeping addresses in this notebook. Okay, this notebook is just a spiral-bound one-subject notebook from Walmart, and it does smell like melons. Like, it smells so yummy. It smells like watermelon starburst or something. But anyway, this is my shopping list notebook, and I needed a spiral bound so that when I am buying groceries, I can do it like this and prop it up in the buggy up against my purse or whatever, and I'll keep a grocery list in it. I'll probably keep a running list of household items that we need, not something that we buy on a weekly basis. Like if I see at the moment, we need a new mat at the front door. So I'll probably write that in here. And then, just keep a running list of things. And then as I buy it, I can just mark it off. But, so it will be my shopping notebook. All right, this will be my new menu notebook. And let me find my menu notebook from last year to show you. These are just composition books that I got like at Dollar Tree probably. This was one that I got at like Dollar Tree, and I covered it and did this and glued this on, and there wrote menus on there. Okay, so in a menu notebook, I will write down a master list, and I don't need to work in this notebook until next week, like the 1st, because we get paid after that. And so I do a 2-week spread, 2-week notebook from a Wednesday till not Tuesday, but the next Tuesday, where I'll write down things that we're going to have. Sometimes I'll write down breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but we really don't stick to that. It's just if we're home and somebody needs to know what can we have for lunch, I can say, oh, we can have this, this, or this. So anyway, we buy groceries every 2 weeks, so I do a 2-week rotation of our meals. I mean, we don't have the same meals every 2 weeks. I have a recipe card, and like I said, I can do another video in more detail if somebody wants to know that. But I have a recipe card box that I go through and write down my menus and stuff. Also, I have on my computer, I had a mason jar shape that can be cut out, and so I printed those. I typed in them like a whole list of things that we could have for breakfast. And then I did another one with a whole list of things we can have for lunch. And I printed those out and put them on the refrigerator so that if somebody wants to say, hey, what can we have for lunch? They can look on there, because it's things we usually have, such as bread, like peanut butter sandwiches or grilled cheese sandwich, or soup, or, things that we normally keep on hand. And then, it takes a lot of the guesswork out, like, what can we have? Anyway, it's no great, my notebook here is not like some kind of master plan. It's just, I need to know what we're having for dinner from payday to the next payday. So a 2-week span. And then about once a month, I'll take inventory of what we do have. And then I'll write down some of the main easy dishes or easy meals or things like that. So if I'm having trouble coming up with things, I can just look back here and write down some things that I know are some family favorites. So anyway, I'm going to transfer something like this into my new notebook and start a new notebook for 2020. Then I have this little notebook that came from Michael's, and it's going to go by my bed on my nightstand or in my nightstand drawer. And then at night, and I'll have a couple ink pens. I'll just probably stick an ink pen on the front cover there. And at night, when I think of things that I don't need to just keep thinking about all night long, because I know when I forget it by morning, I can write it in my notebook. Now, a lot of times I do text myself things, but I don't know. I just want to use pen and paper and not so much technology type stuff. I know, I'm going backwards. But anyway, so this is my bedside notebook where I just write down whatever thoughts are in my head that I want to remember for the next day, or a list of things that I need to make sure I get done or tell somebody or something like that. Whatever's rolling around in my head. And then I have this little composition notebook that came from Dollar Tree. And this will probably be my art journal. And I wish I had an art journal here to show you. Basically, I just started the beginning of a book, and I'll put wax paper here, and then I'll put some wax paper here, and then I just create. Sometimes I might journal something to get something off my chest, or something that's really on my mind that's bothering me. I might journal it in here and then just paint over it, and you won't even be able to read that in the end, but I got it off my chest. And so sometimes it might be where I glue things in here, paint, glue pictures from magazine or whatever. My art journals have just they can be anything. And I don't have a current one with me right now to show you, but anyway. And I'm probably not going to start this like right away on January the 1st, just as time allows. It'll be my art journal that I can just play in. Some days I have to just get creativity out. And the last notebook that I have right here is my very nice notebook that Elijah made me get. It's so nice that I don't know if I really even want to write in it. Like I'd be more comfortable if it was a composition notebook. But anyway, this came from Target, and it was like on sale for $10. And so I don't know if I want it to be a journal to write my thoughts and desires in, goals, or things like that, or if I want it to be a health journal. I was kind of thinking of keeping a separate health journal, but I don't have a notebook currently for that. So if I do, it'll be something that I need to get a notebook for if I want it to track my health issues. And I don't know if that would be purposeful or not. It might be something that I could share with my doctor, but I really don't know. I don't know if I'd even be comfortable sharing it with him. So that's another thought that I have in my mind. But anyway, so I don't know really if this is going to be a journal or health journal or a goal book or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I do have one other notebook that this came from Michael's about a year ago, I guess. A friend and I were in Michael's together, and I saw this, and I had a great idea for it, but I never used it. And so it's been kind of packed away, and so I got it out, and I might use it this year. If I don't, I don't. It's I already had it, so it's no big deal. It's a grid. The whole notebook is grids. And so sometimes I get an idea for a project that I want to make, but I might want to not necessarily sketch it out, but grid it out and then loom knit it. So I might use this notebook for that. And it's just a brand new notebook that's never been used for anything. So I might just stick it up here with my notebooks, and if I use it, I use it. If I don't, I don't. No big deal. And so that is my notebooks for 2020. And like I said, if you want to see more detail as I set my notebooks up, I can definitely do that. Just let me know like which notebooks you would be interested in seeing more details on. And then I do want to share with you that I just have this thing of colored pencils that I have here at my desk if I want to doodle in a notebook or write things, you know. And then also I have a bag of gel pens. And this whole thing of gel pens, they came in a clear plastic box, but they came from, for $5 from Five Below. So it's just different colored gel pens. And I didn't know how these would work that well, but they seem to have a lot of ink in them. And then when I come home and I wrote with them, they write really nice. So if they last, you know, a few months, I think I got $5 worth. So anyway, that's two things I have. And then I also I have my stamps, a box of stamps that I might use in journals. And then I have this thing of sticky notes where if I'm planning something but I don't know, it's not concrete, or I may not, you know, do it on that exact day, I might write something on this and stick it in my planner, and it can always be moved. So I have this little thing of sticky notes here. And then I have like, you know, some stickers and things like that. So anyway, ending this video saying thank you for watching, and I just wanted to share with you my planner lineup for 2020, and let me know if you want to see more. Thanks guys, and I'll see you all very, very soon.